in a different location this morning, but I've still got coffee. Always have coffee on the go. Let's go. I should probably brush my hair before I did this. If you hear any snuffling in the background, it's because I've got my youngest GSD sticking his nose in everyone's Christmas presents. What are you doing? Are you coming to say hi? It's like, nope, too busy sniffing, Mum. Hi. Okay, fair. Just fuck off, Mum, I'm sniffing. So we are at the computer this morning. I've had a really busy few days actually. I've obviously been running this challenge, the 30-day barking dog challenge on Facebook, and it's really great to see and be able to help people with their barking dogs. All online as well, you know, a lot of, although barking is very complicated, I'm very much of the mindset that there's something that everybody can do to better manage the behaviour and to prevent it getting worse. You know, it's very easy to fall into the realms of frustration and overwhelm and almost sometimes some form of anger when your dog's kicking off barking because you don't know why it's happening and you just want it to stop. I went through exactly the same thing with Titan, my first shepherd, who is will I knacker this now if I see him up there? That's my first GSD, and when I didn't know anything about barking dogs, I just wanted the behaviour to stop. So I followed the advice of people who didn't know anything about it, in which I was told to correct him and to tell him off. And unfortunately, the situation we was in at the time and with the guy I was in, he was very punishment minded. So if like Titan growled, for example, or there was one occasion where Titan like retaliated to his correction, that he took him in the back of a van and like beat him, which was not cool. And I can still hear the yelps that he encountered, and I hated it. And it was then I never felt comfortable. I did the corrections. I corrected him on the lead, and I was told to kick him in the stomach, like you would do a horse to move them on. And I never ever felt comfortable doing it. And I wanted to find a better way. And I remember saying, Titan would have been, I don't know, 5, 6 maybe when Sky came along. And I remember saying to this guy, I was like, you do not touch her. You do not touch her. I am on this training plan. I didn't really have a plan, but I just knew I didn't want her to go through the same things that Titan had gone through. I said, you do not touch her. I will do all of the training. I will do all of the work, and all you have to do is, if I'm at work, is just let her out to the toilet. Don't do anything else, or feed her, you know, that sort of stuff. And Sky was the dog that I went on my first proper positive reinforcement training with. And although she has been a dog who just gets it, like she's just been, you know, one of those dogs that just pop out and she's just like, what do you want me to do? I'll do anything you want me to. She had the right character, she had the right genetics and upbringing, which helped. But it proved, she was like my little protege, if you like. You know, I proved to him that it could be done. And I also proved to myself that I could do it, and that I enjoyed doing it. You know, my real love for training came with Sky. That was very short-lived when the next dog we got was a little miniature Jack Russell that we saved a litter from, and then Digger, of course, came along. Now Digger was a very different dog to Sky. And I found myself again making a lot of mistakes with Digger, and his reactivity came through frustration. He's a working line border terrier. I wrongly we had 5. Did we have 5 dogs at the time? There was Titan, Sky, Digger, little miniature Jack. I know 6, because then the other guy that I was with had 2 working dogs as well. So we had 6 dogs at the time, and I wrongly went off on the field every morning with Titan, Sky, Digger and Kaz, and they ran around and played together. And of course, when Digger flipped into a state of play, into predation, and by predation what I mean is he made a beeline for the smallest dog, the miniature Jack Russell, and proceeded to rag her around like a prey item. And from that point on, obviously, I got Kaz out of the situation, and then I started to prevent that behaviour from ever being able to happen again, which meant Digger went on a lead, which he found frustrating. There was other dogs running around, I say running around, but mooching around. Digger found that very frustrating, and this is where his lunging and his trying to grab a dog as they went past him came in, and I almost felt like I could never trust him again. I mean, why would you put a dog that was capable of grabbing the smaller dog and dragging it around like a toy? You wouldn't, would you? So I went on another journey with Digger, and Digger actually has taught me a hell of a lot more than any other dog that I've ever worked with, even Titan. He's taught me so much about predation. He's taught me so much about clicker training. I delved into clicker training with Digger. He taught me so much about body language as well. I very much took for granted with the shepherds just how relaxed and chilled they are. I mean, the two I've got now, they're still like, yeah, I'll just mooch on through. Whereas Digger, Digger's terrierness, if you like, his tenacious behaviour and attitude is so different. He's like, boom, ready to go. Even to this day, even though he's like, what will he be now? 8, 9 maybe? If I say, right, come on, let's do it, he's like, boom, yeah, I'm ready, we're gonna go. Whereas the shepherds are like, oh, what are we doing? So, very different dog, who took me on a very different journey. But through all of obviously my academic learning as well, but more so with my practical learning, I've learned so much with being a practical handler, if you like. And it really, I kind of gone off on a bit of a ramble here on this morning's coffee morning, but I thought it'd be useful for you to hear a bit of my backstory on the dogs that I've had issues with, so that you can maybe learn a bit from it. But also, I guess, in terms of what I've learned, I've very much learned to read a dog, to read a dog. One of the speakers that we had on this challenge, her name's Danielle Beck. She's lovely, really lovely, and she's almost been, I think unknowingly to her, she's always been at the very start of my training journey itself, because I remember when, although I went through it with Sky and I went to classes and stuff, with Digger I was actually working at a boarding kennels at the time, and one of the boss basically said to me, a good friend of mine, she says, oh, you want to check out this lady, Danielle Beck? She's like, she can literally get inside the head of a dog. And I remember thinking, what? What does she mean, get inside the head of a dog? Surely you just feed the dog, you walk the dog, and you sometimes play with the dog, and you cuddle the dog. Like, what do they mean? Dogs can think? Obviously, I knew they could think, but you know what I mean? Which sent me into a deeper learning of dog behaviour. And by understanding and learning how dogs think, how dogs learn, why they're acting the way that they're acting, you really can get inside of the head of the dog, inside the head of your dog. And I remember making that my mission. I was like, I want to get inside the head of my dog. Like, why the hell is this ginger working line border terrier wanting to kill everything? Why? Quite a quizzical creature. And then another learning journey occurred, and most of that learning journey was actually with Digger, especially. It was into clicker training, it was into canine body language, and it was into predation, like, you know, really instinctual, genetical learning on why he was doing what he was doing. And it made so much sense. Once I'd learned it, it made so much sense. You don't know what you don't know. And like, you should have, I imagine if you saw me back then learning, I'd be like, oh my God, that's why he does this. Oh my God, that makes so much sense. I was like, boom, mind blown. I remember, and bleh, more coffee. More coffee. I got a bit excited there, didn't I? When I asked my elite members, probably this year, probably just after the first lockdown, I said, like, you know, we do a lot of stuff in the sessions, but what do you think's the one main thing that I teach you about with your dogs, and what's the one thing that sticks out? And almost all of them said how to read our dogs, how to spot the subtle signs that they're feeling uncomfortable, or that they get a little bit overexcited. And they said that by learning those signals, meant we could then intercept and give the dog more distance, or lure them away and do something else, or whatever it is that we were teaching the dog to do. They said that these signals and these signs were hugely helpful for them. And I remember smiling at that, because it's not something that it's something obviously that I do, not knowingly. I'm like, oh yeah, the ears twitching there, this, there. But that's something that they've remembered. And I guess a lot of my focus is on like, right, how are we going to help this dog, obviously. How are we going to help this dog? How are we going to make sure they're not put into situations where they feel the need to react? And yeah, that's, you know, I'm very much right. Let's teach them a check-in, or let's teach them a settle, or let's teach them this. And the clients are like, you've taught us to read our dogs and to understand our dogs, which can be the main lesson for today, I think. And it's so hugely important. If you're struggling with your dog and it seems like they're barking out of nowhere, oh my God, they're just randomly barking at stuff and there's nothing there, or I never know when they're going to kick off. Some dogs are okay with some, they're not. Learn about canine body language. Please, for God's sake, if you do nothing else with your dog, learn about canine body language, because you will see so much. And I will put a disclaimer on this now. Once you can read canine body language, you will see the whole dog world in a completely different light. All of those, I don't want to put you off it, but all of those like funny, cute videos that you see online, I've witnessed when I see something like that, I either just scroll on past, or I envision like the whole pet professionals world and people that can read body language going, oh. I think the classic one is of a child staring into the eyes of a Labrador. Yeah, I think it was a Labrador. And the Labrador's crouched and the ears are back and like whale eyes coming in. And when you read that, that's not cute staring at a dog. That's like, whoosh, not happy about this. So that can be today's lesson. Go and learn about canine body language and start getting inside your dog's head. Start understanding why they're doing what they're doing. And once you've got a better understanding of that, then like my clients have said to me, we can then step in at the right time, and we can then take that as information. Okay, they struggled in that situation. Therefore, when we go back into that situation again, I'm not going to get as close, or I'm going to go somewhere else and work, or we're going to drill a bit more of this before we then go back out again. You know, all of that sort of stuff. Dog training is very much about building the bank. Maybe I'll talk about that tomorrow. But yeah, read your dogs. Understand what they're saying. Get inside their head. It's a fascinating world. Absolutely fascinating. I think that's probably all I wanted to chat to you about today. If you are struggling with your dog, please go and see a professional. Please, for God's sake. Choose your professionals carefully, obviously, but research into them. Go and find one who is preferably reward based. That said, there's not no, go and find one that's the reward based. Obviously there are some dogs, in my opinion, who perhaps need a different approach. What approach that takes, whether it's a medical approach, whether it's more of a working dog strain approach. I'll probably go into that because that's a whole other topic in itself. But go and find yourself a trainer. Go and find yourself somebody who can help you understand some of the red flags for me when choosing a trainer. Here's another topic I can talk about. Maybe, like, I've got so many topics. If you're struggling with your dog, go and find yourself a trainer. Go and understand more about your dog's body language. And I'm just going to write down those 2 topics that I've just said, that I can talk to you about in more detail another day. So I hope you've enjoyed that episode. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on what's coming, because I have obviously I've got into a nice little routine of doing this daily over a coffee. And as you know, as you can see, I've got lots to talk about when it comes to dogs. So yeah, enjoy your day. I'll chat to you tomorrow.